Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because it comes as a request from one of our amazing users. So as you will notice, we've already created dozens and dozens of videos to help you guys use Alvanda to teach basically every single module, every part of it, and so on. And we have various videos on productivity, on team effectiveness, on planning, and so on and so forth, right? And we can keep creating as much useful business content as you want. Just let us know, just like this amazing guy. So as some of you might know, we have a AppSumo launch going on right now, and within the AppSumo launch people can ask questions, and I don't know how to pronounce the name, I'm sorry, I'll say Yusri said that we're creating great explanation videos on YouTube, but we have a complete picture of Alvanda that's not very clear, because all of these are for individual modules, so tasks or positions or flows and so on and so forth. But we don't have one video that explains from top to bottom, right, exactly everything that Alvanda does. We probably can't get everything in a video, but I'll try today to go through all of this because I do believe this is a great idea. And so I said, okay, let me film a video on it. So let's start from the top, right? You can go to the website, anyone can go to the website and create an account. So let's hope, let me just, you can schedule a demo call, by the way, and you can still, even if you already have an account, you can hop on a demo call with us. We've already generated over $500 million for our clients. So we know what we're doing. If you want help in optimizing your business, let us know and we'll jump right in and help you as best as we can. So coming back, I'll just create a free account. I'm going to probably have this blurred. There we go. And there we go. Okay, hopefully this email is not taken. Alvanda Showcase is the company. Robert, there we go. So let's see if this works. Perfect. Okay. So let's go into email quickly so that we can accept this beautiful invitation that we have here. So let me set a password here. I'm on another screen, but I will be back in a second as soon as I finish this. There we go. So basically the first email is, the first video is a welcome video in which we just, ask you to please use the competitive advantage that Alvanda will give you to run business ethically and treat people fairly. So we have a good commitment going on. After that, we add as much information about the company as we wish. Funding date, let's say, I think it was sometime around this time. Your position, I'm chairman, and then escalation. So global escalation times, we already explained in the other videos, but this is a very important feature of Alvanda because almost no one does this. So imagine you have a team of 5 people and balls are being dropped all the time, like in any company, right? You just keep dropping balls here and there because everyone has too much work and too little time. So what this does is that it basically makes drop balls a thing of the past. Because let's say someone had, 10 tasks on their to-do list yesterday. They completed 8, they completely forgot about 2 or they didn't have time to get to 2. And so they just run their today, like today in chronological days, without even remembering the last 2 tasks that he should have done or that they should have done. And they just move on with their day. Well, guess what? If 24 hours passes, in this case, if I leave this at 24 hours, I can change it. But if 24 hours pass, then my manager gets told, hey, Robert forgot to do these 2 things, or he just didn't for whatever reason, right? And so this is very important because now, even if I forget, or even if I, have an emergency, I need to go, to pick up my child, or I need to go to the hospital, or anything that happens, it doesn't matter, right? What matters is that we now have transparency in the entire org, right? Someone misses to do something for whatever reason, it goes up the chain to their manager. Their manager maybe is on vacation right now because we have a saying in Romanian, no problems come alone. So this person forgets to do the task. This person is on vacation. 24 hours later, the manager of the manager hears about the task that, you know, has not been done, and then it keeps going up the chain up until the chairman, which is the owner of the company, or the chairperson to be correct. Okay. And so you can allow managers to change escalation settings. These can be changed per procedure. So if you create one procedure, you can have different escalation settings. For example, if you have customer success as someone that, let's say, you have escalation settings for, you don't want to wait 24 hours before replying to someone, right? If one person didn't reply. So if someone didn't reply, maybe you want an escalation in 30 minutes later. You want something to be escalated to the manager of that person so that we reply to, you know, support queries as quickly as possible. So that's basically a few instances where you would want to play around with this, and this is incredibly helpful. So we'll click next. Alvanda then helps you define every part of your business, and we do this across the board, and I'll show you how. But basically, these never go away. So these helpful videos are everywhere. So let's say we're setting up a marketing company, right? Because, you know, why not? It doesn't matter. You can have an HR company, an accounting company, a legal company. It doesn't matter whatever company you have. Let's say, what's the company's mission? To help ambitious companies reach their ideal clients in a self-sustaining manner, right? Basically, I connect you with your ideal clients and you get a return on investment on that. So that's a good mission. You have a mission. You can use these checkboxes to make sure that, you know, your mission is what it needs to be. I've already written a million of these because we had so many coaching calls with people. So you can, okay, and then your vision is long form. It's 3 to 5 years in the future and so on. But so we'll just say, let's say, help 1,000 companies generate, let's say, $1 million per company. So that's 1 billion in new revenue, right? So on average, we've helped 1,000 companies make $1 million. So that's $1 billion that we did. And this should be much longer, by the way. We're just going through this quickly. So you're done with that. Now you can continue to company departments. So let's say the standard 3 departments that every company should have. You should have finance legally. You have to have a finance department, whether that's an outsourced accountant or it doesn't matter, but legally you have to have finance. You have to have operations legally, like service delivery, product delivery, anything that you have, and you have to have some form of revenue generation. So that's why in Alvanda, these are the 3 standard departments. So other than that, something that I have in my companies is I have administration. So within the administration department, we have our admin team, which are my, let's say, the team that helps me manage operations in general, but they're above operations to a certain extent because they work directly with me. And then everyone else has a manager that, you know, just provides reports and so on and so forth. So I have administration. You can have as many departments as you want, and then you can color code the departments. And this is important because then when you invite someone to any of these, in the company section, they'll have that color. So you'll know by default who is in what department. This is tremendously helpful if you invite a new person into a 50-person company, because now all of a sudden someone pings you and you see like they have a green background, you know they're from operations. Maybe it's HR, you know, wanting to talk to me about something. So I'll click continue. So Alvanda automatically creates these beautiful org charts. And so the 2 things I'm going to tell you, on every screen of Alvanda, or almost every screen, on the top right, you'll see, you almost can't see it, but it's right here on the top right. It's a little white button that says org chart tutorial. So if you click on that, a video appears with the tutorial on how to use the org chart, all of its benefits, or most of its benefits. Again, we can't get everything the software does into video, but hopefully this should help. So that you have that. Oh, and then you can do email support. Like you can, if you click on this button, the email client will open. and then you can email us with any questions you have and we'll gladly help. And the bottom right, you can have help and feedback. So again, if you need help with anything, you just write it down here and we get an email automatically and then we get back to you, or you can give us feedback. So either of the two you can do, right? For us, it's a distinction of we need to help you with something or you're giving us an idea on how to improve something. That's basically it. And you can add screenshots. So coming here, this by default, so there are other tools that help you build an org chart. The issue with other tools that we found is that they are not useful. You just create out the org chart and there's no use attached to it. You just show it to new people and say, hey, this is our org chart. And they say, oh, that's cool. This is where I am. And that's it. They never look at it again. In Alvanda, the org chart is a living, breathing tool. So you can do various things here. Number one, let's say maybe the most important one is that you can do workforce planning. So workforce planning, how do you do that? You basically say, okay, I have these departments. What do I need? So under the director of finance, I need an accountant, for example. So I click on new position. I say accountant. I hope I'm sorry for the grammar. So it's under finance, under the director of finance. It's not a managerial position. So just click save and continue. Right, and then you can fill out all of these. And by the way, there's tutorials here as well, right? All of these have helpful guidance and you can fill all of them or none of them. You can do whatever you want in Alvanda. And then in the top right, again, you can't see because of my video here, but there's a tutorial button. And then if I click that button, I see this, which is great. So I can close this off. And then, by the way, this tutorial teaches me how to define positions, right? Or it helps me use this tool, basically, that we have here. On the bottom, if you want to share this with anyone, if you're hiring, right? Like, hey, spread this around. You can download it as a PDF, duplicate it, do whatever you want, right? And then assign people to it. We're not going to do that. We're just going to save and continue. So we have an accountant. Under the director of operations, we have, let's say, HR specialist. We have an HR specialist under the director of ops, right? And then save and continue. Notice how fast this goes. It's just literally I can do whatever. I can plan out my entire thing. Under the director of administration, let's put a support assistant because we have quite a few of those. Okay, done. And then basically I can keep going on and on and on. So I can plan out my entire org, like exactly the way I envision it, exactly the way I want it to be. I can plan it out, and Alvanda allows you to plan it out because you can have 0 here, right? This is not based on the people that are in the roles. That's not how you run good business. You don't look at the person and say, oh, what role can I create for this person? No, you have a vision that we help you define, the 3 to 5 year vision. And in that vision, you say, okay, if I want that vision to be a reality, how will the org structure look like? And then you do this. You plan out your workforce. You say, these are the things that I need. And then you prioritize. You say, what's the most important thing? Where do we struggle? Well, let's say we have enough clients coming in the pipeline. We struggle with our finances. Like they're no way, shape, or form in good, order. So we need to put them in order. So let's hire a fractional CFO, right? We give them some money or whatever, and they help us manage our accounts and do whatever. So this helps you make those decisions, and it's a great tool to do that. Other than that, this also has enterprise grade permission schemas in it. So if you invite someone to the company, there's a little button here, invite colleagues. And so I'm already invited here. And so I can just click on invite new colleagues, and I can invite new people. But in Alvanda, you invite them to a role. You invite them to a specific role that you want them to have in the company. So if I invite someone to the HR specialist role, for example, they will not see invoices. They will not see, sales collateral, and so on and so forth. The accountant will see the invoices, the director of revenue will see the sales collateral, and so on and so forth. Everything's already, spread across. So you have that, you have the permission schemes already built in. It's so simple. You didn't need to do anything just to decide, okay, what does the accountant see? What does the HR specialist see? That's it, right? Other than that, it's always by default added. So let me now go back. So this is the company. This is me in the company, and you can hire as many people as you want. I don't have a color because I'm the chairman. I'm on top of the organization. We'll probably add a little thing to add color for leadership as well later. Okay, so you have again the tutorial buttons. All of them are on the top right. You can't see it here, but it's there. And then you can edit company details if you want to, and you can give people roles. So let's say you just created this. You go to employees. You can edit someone's role here, right? So if you hire someone and you want them to also be able to make changes everywhere, like let's say you have a director of ops, you basically need to give them the admin role, right? So you come here, you give them the admin role, and then they can change anything. They can see everything, they can manage any procedure and so on and so forth. So if you want to delegate the management of the business on Alvanda, then you can do it here. So that's something we don't really talk about. So now let's go into a few places where Alvanda shines. So I would suggest everyone start with roadmaps, because this is where you plan out everything. So let's assume you already have a mission, you already have a vision. So what are the strategic areas that will take us there? So number one, if we want to have 1,000 clients, right now let's say we have 50, we'll need lead generation or business development, whatever you want to call it. We will need and you can go crazy. You can say effective sales. You don't need to say it's sales. You can say effective sales, right? Or stellar or whatever. You can go, what else does it, if we want them to make, it's service delivery. Outstanding service delivery, right? Sorry, there we go. Because if we want to make $1 billion for these people, they need this. We need this, right? Etc., etc. So you can add as many strategic areas as you want, and then for each one of these, and for every quarter, you can set strategic initiatives. This aligns people to what it is that we actually want to do. So let's say for lead generation, let's add a strategic initiative. Let's say the objective name is to consistently or consistent large consistent volume of new leads, right? So that's the objective name. And so what do we want here in terms of an outcome? Let's say we want, right now we're generating 5 leads a month. Let's say we want to reach 10 leads per month for 2 consecutive months. Right. You can do whatever you want, but basically this gives you that platform. You'll notice on the right, time elapsed is 0. Why? Because Q2 of 2024 did not start yet, right? We're still in March 2024, right? So Q2 starts in a little bit, and then we basically have 0%. The moment Q2 starts and a day passes, this is already going to be 1. And then when you get to day 3, it's going to be 2% and so on. So this keeps track of time for you. You don't need to do anything. The only thing you do is now you add action steps for the team. So let's say something that we want to do is set up LinkedIn outbound campaigns. Sorry for the outbound. UOUND outbound. Right? LinkedIn with a capital I, of course. And so on and so forth. And you can add as many as you want. The principal department would be revenue. The main responsible, let's say it's me. And you can, obviously, once you have a team, you can put as many as you want. So this is, I want to make a very important note here. In the strategic initiative section is the only section of Alvanda that allows you to put none as a procedure, like there is no procedure. Why? Because strategically speaking, sometimes you might want to test doing some things. Like you might want to test, posting on LinkedIn. You might want to test some things that you do not have a procedure yet for, but you don't want to create a procedure because it's just something I want to test, right? It's just a one-time thing I want to do and I don't need the procedure for it. And so this allows you to select none. In no other instance in Alvanda does Alvanda allow you to not have a procedure for a task. And this is important because it's a forcing mechanism for leadership to create the procedures that they want their business to run on. Otherwise, you're never going to do it. You know, if you're not going to be forced to define your procedures, because everyone knows we should have procedures and systems in our business, but no one creates them. Why? Because it's easier to just say, Frank, could you please send an email to Jeff? Okay, but what should the email contain? What's the template? What should I follow up in 3 days or should I not? What's the procedure, right? Frank has no idea what to do with Jeff, especially if Frank is new. So basically, I want to create a procedure first and say, hey, this is the standard follow-up sequence that we follow, go, right? And then they have the templates, they have everything that they need there. Okay, you can add checkpoints if you want to check up on things, and you can add due dates. So let me add a due date of April 10th, right? And so you can also add times, or if you don't click on anything, it's just going to be midnight, and it's not started. So all of these statuses are automatic. Everything you do is automatic. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, two other fields you have here is graduation day. So this explains how are we going to know we're done with this project, right? And so you can say things like the lead gen reports for the last 60 days show more than 20 SQLs generated, right? So that's what we do. And then, you know, if you draw this report, how many leads did we get in the last 60 days? It's over 20. That's how you know you've succeeded. It's yes or no. This is very important. Yes or no. Have we succeeded or not? No gray area. If it's 18, we fail. If it's 22, we succeeded, right? That's it. And you know exactly what to do. And you can be even more specific in terms of where you get this report from. Like you can say, for example, if you want to grow traffic, you can say, Google Analytics tells us that over 2,000 people have been to the website in the last 60 days, whatever the goal is. And then you know exactly. And then reward for completion is what does everyone get? You know, everyone on the team gets a $100 Amazon gift voucher. Whatever you want to do, or you go on a trip, or they get extra days off, whatever the team wants, is typically something you would discuss with them. And so that's it. You set all of this up. So notice how this helps align your business, everyone in the business, and even yourself, even if you're a solopreneur. These are the types of tools that you should be using to say, what's my mission? Why do I wake up every day? What do I do? What's my vision? Where am I going? And then what's my strategic initiative to get there? Per quarter, all of my tasks defined in one place. I can see how the quarter is going versus how much I've progressed and so on and so forth, right? I know if I'm behind. By the way, you can't see the color here, but this is yellow now because 0 and 0. If 10% of the time would be passed and I'd still be at 0, this would turn red automatically. And if I'm ahead, it turns green. So it's a beautiful way to just know, you know, if you're on track or not. If I come back and if I would be in Q2, this would already turn yellow, by the way. So as a business owner, you can just come here and you would be able to see at a glance, are we green, are we yellow, are we red? Anything that's in the red, you can take a look at, see what's going on, why aren't we succeeding, you know, what do we need to do, and so on. So this is what this helps for. After that, let's go to the builder. So what do we do in the builder? This is one of Alvanda's main things that you can literally create easily in a few minutes, and I'll show you. In a few minutes, you can create procedures that you can then follow in the same software. You don't need to create a beautiful PDF procedure with arrows and boxes somewhere in, you know, whatever tool, and then show it to someone and then hope, pray that they use it. You don't need to do that's a thing of the past. With Alvanda, you create a procedure, you delegate the task associated with the procedure, and then automatically they have to follow it in order to complete the task. So let's go into that. So we have here procedures and components. Components are basically everything that moves through the business. So prospects, for example, move through the sales cycle. And you notice I just created this this new account, and it already has some pre-built components for me. And another thing we're doing to increase the user experience is that we're also going to give you 5 to 10 pre-built procedures, like how to conduct a sales meeting or how to hire someone or whatever. We're just going to build a few for you and then add them here. Even if you already have an account, by the way, don't worry, we'll add them to your account as well. So basically you have prospects here. Companies are like accounts. B2B people will know what I'm talking about. So prospects work at companies, but then sometimes you have 3 prospects at one company. Invoices are something that go through the sales cycle when you issue invoices. Contracts, candidates if you're hiring people, meeting minutes if you're having meetings, etc., etc., etc. Right? So you can go into any of these, right? And you can basically use them to store all of the data you have. If you sell cars, you can have a cars thing here, or you can have one component per car type. Let's say if I'm Jaguar, I can have an F-Pace, an E-Pace, an X-Pace, and so on and so forth, or an XF, or whatever their models are called. You can have one for each, and then I can see, how we're selling the cars, and I can have used and new as well, or anything else I want to do. So let's look at meeting minutes for a second. So what do meeting minutes have? So meeting minutes has a component name, a component icon, and then statuses. So how can a meeting minute be in terms of a status? So a meeting minute can be in progress. So we're filling out the meeting minutes. It can be, let's say, completed or whatever. Completed, right? And maybe it can be archive or whatever, but let's just add these 2 statuses for now. So it's in progress or completed, right? Or it can be not started, but I don't think that matters. So you can, now on the right, you can have everything that you want a meeting minute to have, right? So you can have the name of the meeting, and you can make changes. So you can say meeting name, purpose of the meeting. You can say meeting purpose, right? Time and date, attendees. Attendees, you'll notice, is a person type component. So you have all of the different types of components here, whether that's uploading a file, whether that's adding a link, adding an email, whatever. And these are specific. So you can't add an email field and not put in an email. If you want the opportunity for people to not add emails into this field, say, like, for example, they say no email, right? Or they didn't give us an email, then you need a text field. Because text field can be anything. You can write any number, anything in it. Or if it's a currency field, you can't add letters. You can only add numbers into this, etc., etc. So phone fields, for example, automatically have the country code and so on. So we want it to be as helpful as possible. So you'll notice we have a people type of element here, and attendees is people, but we don't have any people in the company right now. We only have myself. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to remove this one, click on the cog, say that I want to delete this, and then I will basically create a new one that's just a normal text and say attendees, and then I will move attendees to purpose of the meeting, time and date here, right? I changed more, sorry. Attendees. Okay, so we have that. I have attendees, accordingly pre-meeting prep. I'm not gonna have pre-meeting prep in this. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna leave that for a different one. Agenda notes, next step. That's fine. So we have a component here that I actually want to work with, right? I changed it to what I want. Actually, I don't like so many words. I'll just say meeting. I like simplicity. Meeting purpose, and I save and continue. And there we go. So we have meeting minutes here. What I can do now, I can click on procedures and create a new procedure. So I'll explain this, but notice what time it is for me. So right now it's 9, let's say 9 a.m. sharp, because it'll be easier, and probably it's gonna be, I can even wait for a few seconds so it's closer to 9. But basically, as soon as 9 pops up, I'm gonna click create, so you can see how quickly you can create a procedure within Alvanda. So I'm losing my patience. I'm just gonna click on the little button. So here you can put a procedure name, for example, holding a discovery call, right, for sales. the exact agenda for effective initial sales calls, right? So I click create procedure, and then I have this amazing little builder here that our team works so hard on. And then you can just add steps, say, for example, first step, introductions, right? Because it's the very first call, let's say 3 minutes, say hi. This is guidance, right? So you can write anything, you can add images in here, you can create lists, you can do whatever. So say hi, ask how their week has been thus far, right, and etc. Whatever else you want to give as guidance, you can put here. So what you do now is you don't have any inherited components because it's the first step, but you can have new components. So let's add a new component. Let's add the meeting minutes right here. The status of these, let's say it's in progress. The component name is dynamic, so you can choose from whatever you want here. So I'll choose the meeting name and time and date. So I choose this, and so basically what this does is that automatically when the meeting minutes get saved, it gets saved with the name of the meeting and the time, the exact time when we had the meeting. So that's perfect, and I don't need to do anything. It just, Alvanda automatically centralizes every piece of information for me. You'll notice that because I added these two here in the component name, now they're mandatory because we have to have something in them, right? So on this, let me also have the purpose of the meeting and then the attendees, and that's it. We don't have a record link or anything else. I'm making these mandatory, right, because I want to fill them out, but I can also make them not mandatory, and then, you know, if I want to skip then these and just go further, I as the manager choose. Not the person following the procedure. The manager chooses something mandatory or not. The manager also chooses, is this a text field or is this a calendar field or a link field? Manager chooses exactly the way they want to run their procedure. You can also choose through various different settings. We're not going to go into that because this video will probably be as long either way. So we'll click save step. So introductions are there. What's the next thing after introductions? Obviously it should be expectations setting. No good meeting, it happens without expectation setting. Let's add 2 minutes, 1 minute for me to explain the agenda, and then 1 minute for them to give us any feedback. Take the attendees through the meeting agenda, and let's say ask if they would like to add anything to it, right? And then you can say meeting agenda, and then you can say let's say what should it be? Current context, let's say future goals. What else do you want to know? You want to know budgets, but potential solutions. So what are they looking for? Budgets, and then maybe plan, like what's their actual plan, what do they want, right? And so that's it. Let's say that's the agenda for the sales call. We update the status to in progress. We're still filling this out, and now we want to have the agenda. We want to show the agenda. If they want to add any items, that's what this is for. The guidance is here, so you can tell them this is the agenda, this is what you tell them. But if they want to add anything, you want to give them the opportunity to write it down somewhere. So they're going to write it here. Also, they might say something, right? So I'm going to make notes also available here because they might want to say something. And why not also make steps, next steps, because they might say, after this call, we want XYZ to happen. So I'm just going to allow people to do whatever they want. I'm not going to make it mandatory because at this point in time, it's not. We're just showcasing them to people. So do that. So after that, I'll say add new step. What was after expectation setting? It was this covering current context, right? What are they doing in their business? What's going on? Let's give whatever 4 minutes, 5 minutes to this, right? Ask them about their current revenue, XYZ, like whatever your process is. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm sure you get the message. So we're still in progress. I'll leave these. Notice it inherits the exact way it was. Like this just takes away so much. You don't need to do anything of this. It's here. If I want the agenda to be mandatory, I make it mandatory. Whatever I want to do, I'm not going to do any of that because you guys get the message. You're smart. And so let me just go to the final step. I can add as many steps as I want. I can have multiple parents. I can just create this huge little tree, that, with multiple instances and so on, but I'm not going to do that. This is a simple procedure we're going to build and say, agree on next steps, right? Whatever, let's say this is 5 minutes to agree on next steps, right? Agree on both next steps and do dates for each step, right? You can be very clear, very specific with everyone. You can say this is the exact phrase I want you to say. Okay, now now that we had a great meeting, let me just do this. Let's maybe conclude on a productive note and schedule some next steps for everyone. What do you think? What do you say? Right? And that's it. You can literally tell them, say exactly this, right? And then you make it clear here. I can even make this bold, right? Agree on both, and I can, underline. I can do whatever I want to make it very clear to them. This is what you need to do, right? And that's it. This is what they say, and then this is what they don't say, but they need to do. Everything can be here. It's just amazing, right? And then, by the way, I know I'm praising this, but we've worked so long and so hard to make this so easy and so simple. I'm just excited. I swear I'm not selling it. This is my genuine level of excitement to this product because I can't wait to use it myself, and we've already been using it for a little bit. Okay, so agree on next steps, and then I can say say your goodbyes, right? You have goodbyes. This maybe takes 3 minutes, whatever. I don't know how to write that correctly, apparently. And then if we are here, this is completed. Like we got to the end of it, we mark this as completed. And then we can mark this as the final step. I click save, and then we're done. That's it. That's all you do. You have a procedure. What's the time? It's 7 minutes, and I was explaining it whilst I was doing it. Okay, maybe I should have added a few more steps here. Let's say it takes 10 minutes, right? And let's see if you want to be very, very detailed and add a million points of guidance. It'll take you 30 minutes. And that's it. In 30 minutes, you can define the entire procedure. And now, from now in, for years, you can use this. And if in 3 months I want to make a change, I just come back here, I click on one of these, I change this, right? And that's it. I click save. It's changed. And if it updates for everyone automatically. That's why we say this is the world's first truly real-time process optimization platform. This is what it helps you to do, right? And so now, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, whatever. And now you can also edit the description, you can share it. This is very important, right? You can share this with specific people, with departments, or with positions. I'm going to share it with the revenue department because revenue is going to be having sales calls. So this is the department I want to have this. So I click share procedure. Immediately, anyone that I hire within this entire department, doesn't matter what role, will now have access to this procedure. It's so simple, right? So I click share procedure, we're done. Now, we can also edit the description. Here you have global escalation settings that we were talking about. You can leave them global, or you can make them separate. Like if you want to change these for this specific procedure, I'm just going to leave the global ones. And so that's it. We have this, go back, and now you have a procedure. So all of the procedures that you can see will be in your procedures library. All of them, everything you can see. Now, everything you use on a regular basis, you can pin to your dashboard. This is your dashboard where you have your tasks, overdue today and later. Oh, look, the task was automatically attributed to me. So we added that in the roadmap. We had the strategic initiative to set up LinkedIn outbound campaigns, right? I gave myself the task. here's the task. It automatically shows up for everyone. So if you had 100 tasks and you put the responsible, Alvanda just distributes it. You have one place for one initiative where you see everyone's work and you get the updates on the work. You can, ping them, you can do whatever you want. And then Alvanda automatically distributes everything for you with a deadline, with everything. If they don't meet it, then it escalates automatically. It's just so much that happens in the background and you need to do almost nothing. Notice, I'm maybe 30 minutes into this video, I don't even know. But then, I can have everything here set up in my business. So let me just go back to procedures. Within procedures, you can notice there are 5 steps, 18 minutes this should take. So I can pin this. And if I pin this procedure, it automatically appears here. So if I'm an accountant issuing an invoices, I want to pin. If I am an HR person, maybe conducting surveys with staff, one-on-one chats with staff, is going to be here as a pin procedure. Whatever it is for me, I can pin it and then it's here. And if I want to see all procedures, there's a button here. It basically takes me to the same place. So now let's issue a task. Final thing I'm going to show you because this is already too long. So you come to the task section. You can issue tasks here for yourself or for anyone else if you have people under you. And then you can say a task name. So let's say discovery call with Diana, whatever, right? And then description. I don't need to add anything, it's optional, right? Notice what's optional and what's mandatory. So task name is mandatory, assignee is mandatory, right? Who is gonna do it? It's only me in the company, but you can assign it to anyone. And procedure is mandatory. Again, in Alvanda, you can't delegate anything without a procedure. You have to have a procedure. And it's simple. You create it in 7 minutes. Come on, guys. Just create the procedure. Create it. And this is how you run good business. You have the procedure, you choose it, and now you have to add the due date, right? What's the due date? Let's say it's today. And you have to add due time. What's the time? I want this done, by, can I put the past? Let's say if I put the past, I want to show you something. You can set it as recurring if you want to. Create and save adds it to the list. Create and start, if it's a task for you, you can just start it automatically. Let's say create and save. And it's today, right? This is due today. So basically I need to do that. If today would be the other calendar day, like tomorrow, this would move here automatically. Again, you don't need to do anything. So let's say I need to do this today. I click on that and I automatically see step 1, introduction, say hi there, how are you? How has your week been thus far? And I have everything here. I don't need to think about it. It makes my job so much easier as the person following this, right? And look, automatic time tracking has already started. So I don't even need to worry about tracking my own time, right? Especially with so many people working remotely, this automatically starts. Oh, I need to go to the bathroom a little bit, I pause it, right? I pause the time, I come back and I start it again. If I need help with this specific step, I just click help and feedback. I say, I do not understand the guidance. And then this goes to your manager. This immediately, I'm not gonna waste email sending on this, but basically this immediately gets sent to your manager, and the manager knows now, or you as a leader know, exactly where they have problems. Not only the procedure where they have problems, but the exact step at which they're having problems. And now you can contact them, you can talk with them and so on, or they can give feedback. I feel this is missing XYZ, right? Your team can now give you feedback on your procedures so you can improve them. This is an amazing tool that almost no one has, and it allows you to grow your business, and the team will feel listened to because now they can help you build the business and you guys can build it together. So the meeting name, let's say discovery, whatever, I can add whatever I want. Meeting purpose, to leave an amazing impression. That's what I want to do. Then time and date, it's right now. And then attendees, Diana and Robert were here. And then let's say Diana also invited Frank. So Frank was also here. So I click next step, takes me to the next step. Now I can see the agenda, I could see what I want to say, right? And then basically I have here everything I need. So next steps, I don't have yet, but let's say they said that they expect a plan for our efforts, right, that they need to prove. Notes, they're adamant on ROI. What else are they saying, right? The agenda, they want to discuss previous case studies we have, right? And so because I made it available for them to just write things here from this step, they can just do that right now. So save step, and again I can go through everything, discovering the context, do everything there, right? Write things down and so on. You'll notice the time just keeps going and going and going. I'll do next step and so on, and then now we're at the end. Agree on next steps. You can see, okay, now that we've had a great meeting, let's maybe conclude on a productive note and schedule some next steps for everyone. What do you say? That's it. I could just tell them what to say. So, and I have these comments for myself as a person. I know I need to do this. So I need to have this, and then I need next steps. They expect a plan for our efforts due by, let's say, March 24th, right? And so I added that because I got the guidance here. And I click next step. We go to the final step, which is, to say our goodbyes. We say farewell, hope you had a great chat, and then have a great day. And then I complete the task, and it congratulates me. In the future, something else we want to add in Alvanda is a point system where people get points based on what they do. So they say, hey, task completed, well done, you just got 5 points. And then you can give people rewards based on how many points they get every month or every week or every year or whatever, right? So it can be so cool. You can click close. And then if you go to tasks, you'll notice this automatically is in my task history, right? So if I, let's say, go to company, I want to check out what's this person doing? What's this person been up to? What has been he been doing last Wednesday? I just click here and I see a complete report of all of their efforts. I see what have they been up to, what procedures did they follow, when did they complete that, and how much did it take. Everything is already here, the report is already here, and it's generated. So if I had 100 tasks this week, all of it is here, and I see exactly what everyone in my team has been up to. So if I click on here, I can see who created the task, who was the manager or whatever, who gave them the task, who was the assignee, when did they complete it on, how much did it take, when was the due date, etc. I can see what procedures they used. If I click on it, I see a preview of the procedure, which is amazing, right? I can see, oh, they were doing this, okay, fine. And then I can see what components did they generate. Notice what we talked about. This is automatically generated. The meeting name was discovery. This is exactly when the meeting happened, and this was the time when this was created. If I click, I can also leave comments. I can say amazing work, right? I can say here, and then that, I can just say whatever I want to, and we can have conversations, contextual conversations, right? Forget Slack, forget, discussing about a million different things on channels and so on. Contextual, talk contextual. What do you want to talk about? This specific client, this task, this component, this deliverable. What? This is a deliverable, by the way, the meeting minutes. I click into the deliverable, I see everything here, right? I see that, oh, I forgot to update the status on the last one, but I can update it now. So I update the status. I see the component fields, I see everything here. This, by the way, we're working on right now. This is this works as it is, but we're gonna make it a little bit prettier after this video, like maybe in 4 or 5 days. We're already working on it, it's working on development. But basically you can say that I wrote the value of discovery in basically the meeting name and so on. So it will say that the meeting name was set to discovery, the purpose of the meeting was set to leave an amazing impression and so on. And it'll say the date in which this person said that, and it'll say who said it and who made the change. And if I click save now, it'll also save. Your save has been successful. Notice status was changed from no status to completed. Every single change, everything done in the company I can see. And if I want to say, you maybe should have asked about other companies they work with, right? If I want to do that. And so this is feedback that I can give someone. It's contextual, right? It's not on Slack randomly, lost forever in the ether of, fast communication. No, it's here. This is what this means. It's contextual communication is so much better. So now I can keep going on and on and on. There's so many other features, everywhere. There's, global search. I can just say, Diana here, and it will find that there's a task that said discovery call with Diana. It will find it, right? You don't need to worry about, hey, is this information in the project management tool? Is this on Google Drive? Is this on, where is all of the information? No, it's in one place. You just search for it and you can find it. If you want to find the procedure, what was it called? Discovery, right? You can say that there's a task, there's a procedure, there are components, anything in the business, anything, you just find them, right? We need to remove these. I just realized. But basically you can have it. I clicked on the procedure. It gives me the procedure here. I can also begin the procedure if I want to start a task with it. So imagine if I want to just have a discovery call and I didn't pin it. I'm a sales guy, but I really now it's the time I have to have a discovery call. So I can just say discovery call. The procedure will show up. I click on it. I click begin procedure and it automatically creates a task for me and I can start the procedure. Etc, etc, etc. Guys, I'm sure you get the message. You have notifications. You have so many things that are just fantastic. And if you guys want anything else, flows. I have to show you flows. Sorry, again, I'm so excited by this stuff. Let's say the component name, the component type is prospects. So prospects basically shows me the sales cycle. So how can a prospect be? They can be a prospect, like someone we contacted. They can be an interested prospect, which means that they showed some form of interest. We can have a discovery call scheduled, discovery call held. We can have sent a proposal. Everything about the sales cycle can be here. Whether you have 10 sections of a discovery of a sales cycle, or you have 20 or 100, doesn't matter. Or when you hire people, or when you onboard people, right? You can have as many different things as you want to. Let's say maybe you have something for candidates. Candidates can be an applicant, not qualified, shortlisted, saved for later, on trial, we're trialing them out, or we hired them, right? That's what the candidate can be actually, because after they're hired, they're a new member. So a new member can be a different component that you track, week 1, week 2, week 3, or you track however you want to track, their progress through the onboarding part of your business, right? And so on. So flows can help you incredibly. Meeting minutes, if I go, you'll see what meetings are in progress right now, what have been already completed. If I click here again, it takes me to the meeting minutes. No status means they haven't been started yet, or things of that nature, and so on and so forth. So you can just keep finding everything in your business. It's very simple, and you can build your business exactly the way you want it. So hopefully this video helps. I think it's like an hour long or something like that. I've been talking forever, and so let us know if you have any questions. This is basically how you can use Alvanda right now, and we'll be adding so many features. And please give us feedback. Any workflows that you have that you would like us to work with, email support@alvanda.com. Hop on a call with us. We'd love to help. We'd love to listen. We'd love to implement and make your lives easier. So thank you so much. And here's to going from chaos to order.